Houses remain submerged, although floodwater receding. Death toll reaches 18. Country more united in resolving crisis. People on search of relatives in Feni, Kumilla. Concern of heavy rains removed. Dr. Yunus directs uninterrupted mobile network and power supply. BNP pledges achieving proper share of water after coming to power. Movement to be foiled if election roadmap declared immediately. Hello and welcome to the News 24 English Bulletin. This is Tamima Islam. Those were the Bashundhara T headlines. And now the details. The floodwaters have started to recede as rainfall has subsided, halting any further rise in water levels. However, thousands of displaced residents continue to live in shelters with their homes still submerged. People in the affected regions are anxiously waiting to return to their homes, grappling with the overwhelming sense of loss after the devastation.
There has been no rain and floodwaters are receding, which is gradually improving the flood situation. However, the suffering of the people has not lessened in the slightest. The most devastating flood in recent memory has submerged 14 upazilas of Kumilla. Several days of continuous heavy rain and upstream flow have extended at least 10 lakh people in the district. Of these upazilas, the residents of Burichong are suffering the most. Many areas have been cut off from the electricity and mobile networks.
বাড়িঘর পানির নিচে আমরা বউ বাচ্চা নিয়ে অনেক কষ্টে আছি বুড়িচঙ্গের পানি অতিরঞ্জিতভাবে বৃদ্ধি পাচ্ছে
The sun is shining brightly in Noakhali and there is no forecast of heavy rainfall for the next 24 hours. This has improved the flood situation in Noakhali. The same scenario exists in Lakshmipur. The flood situation is also improving there. However, 7 lakh people are from over 100 villages across 5 upazilas are still stranded by the flood waters.
ত্রাণ সামগ্রী নাই কিছু স্বেচ্ছাসেবক দল কিছু ত্রাণ সামগ্রী নিজ ব্যবস্থাপনায় দিচ্ছে
In Mirshorai, Chattogram, thousands of people are in distress due to severe flooding. Their homes have been underwater for 3 days and they have been living in shelters. Many have yet to receive any relief aid. The severe flooding in Kumilla, Noakhali and Feni has caused a standstill on the Dhaka-Chattogram highway. Relief trucks, lorries and small vehicles carrying aid to flood-affected areas are stuck in long traffic jams, causing frustration for passengers. In Brahmanbaria, the sun has appeared after days of heavy rain and the flood waters have started to recede in several parts of Akhaura and Khosba villages. However, over 300 people are still stranded by the flood. Although the water levels in the Monu and Dhalai rivers have begun to drop in Moulvibazar, 3 lakh people are still trapped by the flood waters in Rajnagar, Kamalganj, Kulaura, Juri, Badolekha and Sodor Upazila. The flood waters are receding very slowly, but the overall flood situation in the district is improving. The flood situation is improving in Hobiganj. The water is gradually receding from homes, bringing some relief to the residents. In Khagrachori, flood victims are returning to their homes as the water levels in the Chengri River start to drop. However, due to continued flash floods in the hills, several low-lying areas in Ramgarh and Merung Union of Dikhinala remain underwater. Diseases are spreading in the affected areas. In Khulna's Paikgacha Upazila, 13 villages have been flooded after an embankment collapsed. Around 15,000 people have been stranded and shrimp farms and agricultural lands have been submerged. Local residents are working together to repair the embankment. Desk report, News 24.
The Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief reported 18 deaths due to sudden flooding in Feni, Noakhali and other northeastern districts. A total of 3,527 shelters have been opened in the affected areas to provide refuge. The information was provided by Mohammed Kamrul Hassan, Secretary of the Ministry, during a briefing at the Ministry's conference room on Saturday afternoon. As time passes, the devastating effects of the flooding in Feni are becoming increasingly apparent. The list of missing persons is growing and crowds of anxious relatives at various points are becoming more pathetic. With all forms of communication cut off, some people are breaking down in tears. In addition to government agencies, private organizations have also joined in the rescue efforts.
On the day before yesterday, I saw flood water entering my house via video call. From then, I'm not being able to connect over phone. Phone is remaining off.
Rabia Khatun of Noapara of Porshuram Upazila is always shedding tears for losing 8 members of a family. 3 days earlier, when Rabia talked to her family last, her house was breaking down due to floodwater. From then, communication collapsed and she lost contact.
I don't know what happened. I'm not getting any whereabouts of my parents and others.
Meanwhile, 10 family members of Hosniara are out of contact. She has been waiting in front of DC office for 2 days. She failed to create contact with family members even after frequent efforts. Tajul Ahmed from Chattogram doesn't know whether his family members are alive or not.
My relatives become stranded in Fulgazi. However, I have not got any assistance from anywhere.
I have daughter-in-law, my grandchild, sister, mother, brother and his wife. I am not getting any information about them for 4 days.
In Porshuram, 10 members of my sister's family lost contact.
These scout members cannot assess how long the list of missing is in the most devastating flood of remembrance in Feni.
Unnumbered, huge, and it cannot be counted. Assignment is not any way possible. We are sending boats union-wise.
Several private organizations are working in rescue operations besides different government forces in a bid to rescue missing persons. Ekramul Haq Suman, News 24.
Bangladesh is rallying together to send aid to flood-stricken areas. Various organizations are providing daily assistance and trained law enforcement members are ensuring safe shelters. The flood has hit 11 districts, affecting 36 lakh people. With villages submerged, people are fleeing to safety. The public, including students, is actively supporting the victims. The student union at Dhaka University is leading relief efforts, collecting cash, food and medicine, while the finance department is raising funds through painting auctions. Dr. Muhammad Yunus, Chief Advisor of the interim government, stressed the need for coordinated efforts between the government and NGOs for flood relief and rehabilitation. At a meeting with 44 NGOs, he praised the public's response to aid flood victims. He also discussed sending diesel to maintain mobile and electricity services. Foreign aid will be sought and expatriates are encouraged to assist in post-flood rehabilitation efforts. The BNP urges the government to engage in dialogue with political parties about the election. Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir warned that without an election roadmap, public movements will suffer. Senior BNP leaders also stressed that the disaster in Bangladesh will persist until the country secures its fair share of water from India. As floodwaters submerge several districts, BNP leaders join relief efforts, promising action if they come to power. Bashundhara Group and students are providing relief and medical services to flood-affected areas. Aid, including dry food, is being delivered to 4 flooded districts from the Bashundhara International Convention Center. Heavy rainfall and upstream flooding have impacted about 36 lakh people in 11 southeastern districts. The Bashundhara Group is helping 25,000 families and offering medical care. On the second day, aid reached nearly 8,000 families. Experts have claimed that Sheikh Hasina government has spent billions of dollars on surveillance to suppress dissent. At a civic dialogue in Dhaka, participants criticized state agencies for political repression under the guise of security. They called for protecting citizen rights and allowing the law to function independently. The dialogue, held at the Basis office, featured debates on surveillance, privacy and freedom of speech. Speakers urged transparency and accountability for these actions. We'll be back after a short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching News 24 English Bulletin. DMP Commissioner Mainul Hassan has vowed to bring to justice those who have misused the police against the public. At a briefing, he stated that anyone questioning the police will face legal consequences and assured that unprofessional officers will be punished. He revealed that police used indiscriminate gunfire during the student protest, resulting in deaths. Even after 20 days since the government's resignation, police are still affected and facing bullying. Hassan also noted that arrested ministers and MPs are being questioned, and both licensed and illegal weapons were used in suppressing the movement.
News24, excellence in quality.
Former Supreme Court Judge AHM Shamsuddin Chaudhary Manik has been sent to Sylhet Central Jail. On Saturday, Judicial Magistrate 1 Alamgir Hussain ordered his imprisonment under Section 54. Police transported him to the jail amid reports of an attempted attack on him while he was being brought to court. The border guard Bangladesh BGB arrested Manik at the Kanighat border on Friday night as he tried to flee to India. The Islamic Banking Customer Forum has accused international conspiracies and state actions of deliberately destroying the Islamic banking system. At a meeting in the capital on Saturday, they demanded the reinstatement of the old board of directors to restore discipline. They also called for legal action against those who have embezzled funds, including S. Alum, and recommended replacing unskilled staff with competent employees. The forum plans to submit a reform memorandum to the Bangladesh bank governor. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has requested India's help to stop Russia's aggression. He also asked Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to mediate for peace. Modi affirmed India's commitment to peace and neutrality. His visit to Ukraine is historic, being the first by an Indian Prime Minister since the country's independence. Zelensky believes India can play a key role in ending the conflict. Modi's effectiveness as a mediator will be closely watched due to India's close ties with Russia. That's all from the newsroom today. Thank you for watching News 24. Please stay with us.